Hi everyone. The purpose of this tutorial is to enhance the Vanitas still life photograph. It's a pretty basic technique. Essentially, we want to darken the background. If you remember the painters, the Dutch painters that did the Vanitas still life, they were dark, the colors weren't so bright. Not that that's bad. This is an excellent photograph, but I want to try to copy that style a little bit. So let's see. Okay, I want to zoom in. Now make sure on the right-hand side you can see your layers. There's going to be a lot of different layers. Now if I get rid of these layers, you can see how bright this image is. So I've done a few steps to it. You also want to make sure you have the adjustments panel, which is above the layers panel, right up here. If you don't have that, all you need to do is go up to Window, click on that, and then go down to Adjustments and click on it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to lower the color a little bit on this. Just want to make it a little bit darker. Now, there's a few ways to do that. I can go up to brightness and contrast and bring the brightness down a little bit. Make it a little blander, the color. You can also go to hue, saturation. Let's see, where's hue and saturation. I'm going to leave the color alone because if I move these sliders, I can really change it a lot. Let's go back to 0. It's the saturation. I want to lower that a little bit. Usually I like to up the saturation, make it brighter, but this time move the slider to the left and just dull the colors a little bit. Just use your preference, whatever you like. Okay, now you can see down here in the layers panel, you'll have the brightness is right there. If I hide it, it gets brighter, and here's the hue and saturation change I just did. And if I hide that, it changes. What's interesting about using the adjustments in this panel, it's called non-destructive, meaning any of the changes that I made are not on the actual photo. Here's the photo. These are the changes. If I don't like any of these changes, I just can delete that layer and you still have your original photo. You haven't destroyed it. Okay, so I'm going to go down, make sure I'm on my background layer. We're going to select these outside areas. If you see the classroom or the table. So get your selection tool, the fourth tool down. Use the quick selection tool. And I just want to select the area that I want to paint black. It's okay if I have a little bit of that. I'm going to come down here to this area. Okay, so those are selected. I'm going to press Command J. Now those two areas that I just selected are in their own layer right here. Now I want to paint that black. Take your mouse, you have to hover over the that layer. Mine is layer 4. Hover over it right in the rectangle, not out here in the gray or on the numbers, layer 4. Put it right there, your mouse, and then you're going to press Command, keep it pressed, and then click your mouse. It reselected that selection, it's just in the other layer. And then now I can make sure I have black. and then get a brush, the regular painting brush, which is right here. If you press B on your keyboard, it will go right to it, B for brush. And just make it very large, the brush. Whoops, I lowered that. I lowered the flow for something. And up those again. Okay, just paint that black. Alright, then I can press Command D. It deselects that. So now the edges are black. Now, if you have a high contrast, see it's black and it's a dark gray, it doesn't blend nicely in between the two. I can blend that over, still using the brush. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then go over to opacity and lower it down to about 50. And the flow go down to about 70. What this does is it's not so dark, solid dark. It's a little softer. See, I just don't want this edge so contrasty. You'll have to experiment with the settings. I'm just going around the sides a little bit. This is all personal preference. Now I do want to darken this, but I'm going to lower the opacity even more and make the brush larger. I want to get rid of all the white because there is a light source. Just want to darken it some. Okay, so that looks much better. That's all we really wanted to do, was make the colors a little less vibrant. Now there is another way that you can change this to a black and white background. Now let me see, it was with the gradient map up here. Right there, if you click on the gradient map, here, let me delete it. I had done it earlier. Click on gradient map. Now this one's very interesting. There's a little brown color in there. It's black and it goes to brown and white. That definitely darkens it up. If you like that, but you want a little bit more color showing through, I can come down to the gradient map layer and lower the opacity of the layer. If I bring it down to 0, the whole thing shows through. You know, maybe this is too dark. That's kind of neat. I like that. To get the gradient colors, you have to click right here on this section. If you go under Basics, the first one is this brownish one. And then the last one was black to white. If I was using black to white, I'd probably lower it a little different. But that's all I want you to try to do is darken it up. Now, if you have sections in here that are too dark, maybe I want the jewelry to be brighter, you can click on the layer mask of the gradient map. Change the color to black. Whatever is black, if I click on it, I can bring the color back. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. All right, so do your best and give it a try.